open the August 23rd, 2022 meeting of the Rutland Planning Board. And the first order is minutes from August 9th.
Make a motion to accept the August 9th minutes.
There is one Williams.
Ah, you're here.
Here.
He must be the phone at the bottom.
What?
Yep, there it is.
Yep.
You're showed on our screen, Dick, as a phone, as a receiver.
Just a phone.
Here's a phone.
Just a phone. At the moment, a phone.
May I have a second?
Second.
Are there any other questions, comments, changes, corrections, additions, deletions, or anything like that?
All right, just on the second page, bond reduction request. You can hold 10% of the bond for 1 year because of the screw up in the town meeting. Is it still going to be held even longer for phase 1 and 2?
It's gotta be after the road's approved.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask a question about that when the time comes. If it's the wrong time, tell me, I'll
Yeah,
wait.
let's,
Well, I just want to make sure that in the minutes that, I don't know, let it ride, once you get to it, it's okay.
yeah. We can talk about that more when it gets up, when we get to it on the agenda.
Okay.
Anybody, anything else? Okay, then all in favor, I guess I better do a roll call since Dick is remote. Dick, you vote?
Aye.
Marilyn?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Norm, aye. Next, we have the A&R on East County Road. Do we have anyone here representing that?
Yes. John, oh, he was on. There he is.
Hello, can everyone hear me?
Yes,
Yep.
okay.
Okay.
Did you get anything back from Sharon?
Yes. If, you remember we discussed this a little bit at our last meeting, and we decided to extend the deadline and also send a copy of this to town council for review and an opinion. And just so that we do things in order, I would like a motion to make town council's reply public information.
I vote to make town council's reply public information.
Second.
Second.
I'll let Dick do it.
Okay. Is there any discussion? In favor, Dick?
About the town, about town council, correct. I have no opinion on that.
Should discussion having this?
Okay. Did I have a second?
Yes, I second.
Okay. Any further discussion?
Does it have to pertain strictly to town council?
No, it's about.
Yes, because that's the motion that's on the floor.
That's what I thought.
Okay, then in favor, Dick?
Aye.
Marilyn?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Norm, aye. With that, I think I'll just read the reply this is from Amy Questle at KP Law. And it says, with regard to the wetlands, it says, I suggest that the applicants apply for and receive an order of conditions from the Conservation Commission, then reapply for the A&R. Right now, in my opinion, it does appear that the wetlands prevent access to the upland buildable portion of the lot therefore making the frontage illusory. So, I guess first of all, any comment?
Yes, I feel that the gentleman that did the, designer thing, why didn't he ask DPW, why does the town want to own so much land right there in the corner where the old road used to be, and it has not gone back to the person with easement to pick up? So I feel that this thing is not drawn to today's spec that it should be. Does the extra land, if it does, give enough to create an estate lot? But I just want to throw that out because there's such a wide place over there. Why hasn't anybody stopped it back up to the right of way? That's it.
So is Dixon, you take land out of here and add it?
I'm not following what you're saying, Dick. I don't think any of us are.
All right, drive over by the lot, and you'll notice how the setback, the triangle, if you're coming from, your 56 now, you go under the power lines, and then you'll have a couple of houses before you get to this place. You notice on the right-hand side, there is a wide opening. And according to this, it was never resolved when Route 68 was moved to the left. So therefore, I think that this thing here needs to be updated.
Oh, he's saying this section right here,
And
a triangle.
Like, it must be.
Yeah, that's what he's saying, Norm. So Dick, you're talking about that triangle in front of the house.
that's correct.
Yeah. So,
Okay. Now, the ownership of that is not listed on this
no.
plan, or even the complete boundaries.
Yeah, I'd have to review that from my PLS. Right now, we show it as part of the East County Road layout. So it wouldn't be owned by the applicant.
But the road doesn't go, does that road go up into that triangle, or does it just go straight like I think it does, and that triangle's sort of property on the edge of 68?
But the question is,
Yeah, the
what
road's
is the
not
way?
going to that.
And every map that I've seen shows it this way.
Okay.
Now, the total right of way, according to every document I've seen, that I admit, I'm not up to speed on the whole movement thing, but the movement of 68 was just a movement within the pre-existing right of way. I don't believe it was that there was any new land taking, and therefore there wouldn't be necessarily a release of land.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I think we believe that the survey is accurate based upon the surveyor's representation of it. An estate lot may be a
Yeah.
future proposition for another day, but right now it's just
Well,
A&R.
right now, they don't have ownership of it. Maybe for some reason or other, it should have been turned back to the owner, but it hasn't. So,
So the recommendation from Amy is to go through the Concom first before coming back to us with an A&R.
yeah.
I read her.
So,
I think,
go ahead.
I think the applicant's intention was to avoid having the access from there because of the additional impacts to the wetland, the additional permitting. I think if the board is going to require an order of conditions to construct a driveway over there, that would probably be where he would construct it. I don't want to speak for him, but the intent of this was to minimize the impacts to those wetland resource areas.
I think she's clear, and
Yeah, I guess, at least my take on this is, you know, we asked for a legal opinion, and when you do get
Yep.
when you get an opinion that you pay for, it's not usually wise to ignore it. So,
Understood.
I'm gonna suggest that at this point you withdraw the plan. I'm not gonna say you have to, but I'm gonna suggest it to you. And decide then what you're gonna do about the wetlands, the water conditions and whatever.
And/or explore some alternatives such as possibly an estate lot that could be drawn to accommodate that.
Yeah,
yeah, because you could talk to the landowner and try to pick up an acre from that existing piece of property, and it'd be an estate lot.
well.
Because you need 5, and I think, how big, I don't know how big that land
Still
is.
wouldn't have the 50 feet of frontage. Get into it.
Oh,
The
you'd have,
access,
yeah, you'd have to do some type, there'd have to be some finagling of this plan.
Yeah.
Okay. We can certainly explore that.
Yeah.
Um,
Chop,
I
chop,
understand we just
A front section
town
of it.
council.
chop a 15-foot
Yeah,
strip, like right down there.
then the problem is they don't have the setback for the house.
Well, could be.
Yeah, but again, that's, yeah, I agree, Norm.
Mhm.
She answered the issue of the front line there, the illusionary property.
Mhm.
She said that it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. She came back and agreed with the board.
Right.
So what's your,
Mr. Chair, if I may.
yeah,
Peter Crane, Conservation Commission Chair. The applicant should understand that, I've looked at maps today on this. By this orientation, the lower, the southerly section, if you will, a lot of that land is in Zone A. And that means not only Conservation Commission, it also means DEP. And if DEP permitting, and it wouldn't shock me that DCR might think of it as source waters for a drinking reservoir, which would also involve DCR for permitting. I just want to let you know what it is to go through that stretch of land. I'm not trying, and I'm not making a statement about how conservation will look at this.
Peter, if I may,
Yes.
we already did. This application came before us, and before the commission made a decision, the applicant decided to withdraw, I presume because they were trying to do this alternate plan. So we do have some information already from them. They had already submitted to the DEP and everything.
So DEP sought, then the other question, the only last question would be DCR for the Zone A. Sorry, DEP for the zone, yeah, DEP sought, so it's just DCR for drinking water supply.
Right.
Can I ask a question?
Yep.
I know I have nothing to do with this, but illusory frontage, so you can't get in with, because there's a wetland there, right? But you're allowed to fill up to 5,000 square feet of wetland to access you, or on any piece of property. So if once he gets to the Concom and at some point they approve that, what then is an illusory frontage anymore?
No, she actually, I think, says,
No, if he can get,
The whole point is to go through the permitting process to
Yeah.
show that they can access the rest of the property.
yeah,
you have to go through the permitting process first with conservation to establish that you do actually have a legal right and practical access to the frontage portion of the lot first, then come back for the A&R second. So maybe your solution is valid, maybe this engineer is listening to what you have to say, but that still brings them back to the Conservation Commission first, before coming to this board for the A&R request.
so you're right, it's just a process of what they go through quick, so
Mhm.
they could say they wanna fill 5,000 feet to get access. But that's gotta all be taken care of in the Concom.
From a planning board standpoint, how do you know if somebody comes with an A&R lot like that?
Gotta
how do
ask
you
the
know?
question.
A lot of times, you don't even look at that.
Yeah, that's, and this is again me, that's gonna change. I'm gonna ask a lot of questions that have to do with other boards from now on, because,
Way back in time now.
yeah,
Well, I say way back, a couple of years back now.
yeah.
Okay, sorry to.
Okay, thank you. I think we'll take a look at alternative use to access.
Do we need to have a vote to withdraw?
Has that been the request?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we would request a withdrawal.
Okay.
And you vote.
We have to approve.
You have to vote to grant the applicant's request to withdraw
Make
the
a
petition.
motion to approve the request to withdraw the A&R for 315 East County Road.
Second,
Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, Dick?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Marilyn?
aye.
Norm, aye.
I'll have to send this out tomorrow because the applicant's not here today.
Okay.
I'll send this out tomorrow, but we just get the sign as soon as possible and return back to the office.
Did we collect a fee on that?
We did, and work was done to support the petition by way of staff, resources, and time, as well as the town council.
Okay.
I mean, if the board wants to, I mean, I'll leave that to you folks. I'm just saying, work was done to support this matter, and there was some cost associated with delivering a service to this residence.
I'm having a tough one on that.
Yeah. It's just gonna, you know, with an A&R, the fee is, yeah, you've got your A&R kind of thing. I would not be opposed to refunding this fee.
I wouldn't either.
No, I'm fine with that. Dick?
Sounds like he's sleeping.
Dick,
You
you,
snoring like that?
no, it's,
I'm kidding.
he's watching,
It's the engineer's microphone.
It's hard for me to hear.
Dick, what we ask is, we were talking about, refunding the A&R since it didn't go through the fees. And right now, we got three yeses.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, I'll accept a motion to refund the,
I'll make a motion to refund the A&R cost for 315 East County Road.
Second,
is there any discussion? In favor, Marilyn,
aye.
Dick,
Aye.
Tim,
Aye?
Norm, aye. So, well, small solace, but you got your money back anyway.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Have a good night.
Thanks.
Okay.
Sounds like an old movie reel, the
Yeah, I
8
know.
millimeter
Yeah,
thing.
it does, it does. So,
Now it's gone.
okay.
Where's the mic?
Next item. Maple Hill bond reduction. And to be perfectly honest with you, I think I'd like to take all of the bond reductions together. Is that in a supplemental or is that in a?
Yeah, it's in the supplemental. Number 3.
God, too much stuff here.
Dave, I can't remember. Teresa Drive. That's a town road?
Yes, that was accepted the last
Okay.
time meeting.
All right, so
And
that's
I
an easy one.
recorded these myself.
I'm good.
Wait for the town to do it.
I just know that I couldn't remember if all 3 were rejected or just the 2, phase 1 and phase 2's roads. So just phase 1 and 2.
Okay, from Quinn on Maple Hill. As you know, we do have in our subdivision regulations that we hold 10% of the original bond for a year after acceptance.
Is it a year after acceptance, or is it a
Yep.
year after the work is done? After
A
the bond
year
is
after
released?
acceptance. It's a year after acceptance.
Okay.
Okay. And the original bond was $158,696 and change. The present bond amount is $3,956.25, which is way under 10%.
Yeah.
So we have a choice. We can either up it to make it 10%, or we can leave it the way it is.
Well, at the one meeting when you did lower it, you
Mhm.
voted to let it go down to that amount.
Yeah, I know, we did.
Yeah,
And
so,
my thoughts are is, no, we're not gonna raise it back up, but that's just me.
That's, Maple Hills just got the one road coming into the cul-de-sac, correct?
Yeah.
I wish Joe was here. I'd say, what can you do for $4,000?
Well,
Is that a pothole, or is that a culvert? What can you do for $4,000?
Not an awful lot.
drive on the site with your machine,
Yeah.
and inhale, and you're about done.
The only other thing I will note is, at least to my recollection, for however many years I've been on the board, we have never dipped into that 10% retainage
No.
on any subdivision ever.
The only one, didn't you guys take a bond back on some property?
On Deer Run.
Yeah, that's the only one I know of.
That's another story.
Yeah, I'm fine with leaving it there.
And that was accepted at the fall town meeting?
No,
Was
spring.
it spring? Okay, sorry about that.
So, May of next year.
So, anyway, we do have a report from Quinn showing these estimates, and there is a note, I don't know if he copied you on this or not, that does say that work under the planning board's purview has been completed, as-bills have been completed, and the town has been accepted, which is what you were looking for as well. Yeah. Okay, so that's the Maple Hill. Do we need to vote on that?
Yes, you need, it's recommend, yes, you need
For
to
the
vote
bond
on each
deduction?
of these to indicate what the action is that the board's doing. Now, we provided a model motion if it's gonna be a reduction, but in this case, if it's not gonna be a reduction, I would just state what the board is in fact doing. I would ask the board to cite General Law, Chapter 41, Section 81, and indicate that what this project is for and what the purpose of this action is. So then it's on the record for anybody who needs to have access to it. They can look at the meeting minutes, understand what happened, and then staff would not be engaging back and forth with financial institutions or otherwise, which is kind of beyond the scope of.
Yeah, where did you,
That was in last,
So you should have a covered email for all these things, and the recommended motion is on the second paragraph.
where?
I'll just modify it accordingly. The email should be in the front of that supplemental. So I can give you a copy
It's
of it.
a single page.
Yeah, single
The,
page.
oh,
looks like that.
all right, I don't,
This is gonna be it.
That looks kind of like it.
oh, let me look at it real quick. Oh, yeah,
No.
sorry. It's the second paragraph. I see it. I was reading see the first one? This is the one that was talking about 3 county roads, and then down the second paragraph, go to the front of your supplement. You're missing a page.
The supplement or the cover letter?
Want my copy of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It appears I am missing it.
So that's basically the model language, just modify it accordingly, just give the situation.
Okay,
We're not, let me just ask the question. We're not taking the 3956 and reducing it to $396, are we?
no,
Okay.
no. So I say
Yeah, you'd be really happy about that.
the motion here will be to maintain the tri-party agreement, which is the surety provided under blah, 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 blah.
Of 395625,
Yeah, based on the Quinn reporting dated
August 22nd, 2022.
for the project known as Maple Hill Estates.
So moved.
Sub-second.
Did you get that?
No, I'm gonna ask Dave if he can just give me a copy to make sure I get it right in the
That's
minutes.
would be advisable.
Yes,
Yeah,
please, thank
okay,
you.
Okay.
Just need an excerpt of that tomorrow, I just got to paste this.
That'd be
I grabbed
great.
the email, you can just grab it.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay. Do I have a second on that?
So I second it.
Second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Marilyn?
Aye.
Dick?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Norm? Aye. Okay, that is,
So
Ma-
who follows up on when the money gets released? Because that, they're actually holding my cash.
Yeah,
It's
I
not a
know.
lot, but they're
I
actually
know,
holding
I
my
know.
cash until that gets released.
and,
And a big question is, if the work is all done,
mhm,
and it's been certified that it's all done,
mhm.
what's the purpose of holding any money? What is that for?
In case anything fails.
Through a winter. That was our biggest concern of holding for a
Yeah.
year.
Well, if the
Yeah.
town's plowing and they rip out the berm, you can't touch that. I mean, that's not my fault.
No,
No,
but,
but
you know, manhole sinks, something like that.
Okay.
it's basically a failure.
Mhm.
That's, I mean, that was my understanding, Clay, is like something that happened with that, I mean, again, it was 6, 7 years later, but that collapse in the road on, I'm having a brain death.
Oh, wow.
Vista Circle.
Yeah, Vista
Yeah.
Circle. I mean, if that happens within a year, our expectation is you'll fix it, or I shouldn't say you, someone would fix it. The developer would fix it, or the bond would be used to fix it. If it happens 7 years later, that's a whole different story, but
I know. I don't even know if that's legal.
it's like a warranty claim,
Oh.
isn't it?
The bond is to finish the. Sorry, Kyle wanted to say something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is this kind of a fairly standard practice?
That I don't know, but I can tell you, Carl's been Quinn Engineering, that the subdivision regulations say that that money is to be used for a warranty on defects of materials and/or workmanship.
Mhm,
So basically, if something goes wrong in subdivision within that time span,
mhm.
the town has money to go and fix it. That's the intent.
Anything, I mean, it could be culvert fails, or fire hydrant breaks, anything along those
A
lines.
defect in material or workmanship, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, if something breaks, you can fix it.
Detention
Yeah.
pond breaks out.
Yep.
That's gonna be more than $3,900.
Anyway, okay,
I have a question.
Yes.
What does the town do with that money while we're holding in bond for that year? Do we just keep it in an account? Do we get any savings on it? Does it get invested? What are we doing with it?
we're not, well,
Well, it sits in an account somewhere, I assume, correct?
Yeah, my bank.
yeah,
Okay, I have no idea.
Because the town has the ability to call the bond.
yeah.
Okay, so
So-
you have to hold on to it in an account?
My bank, myself, and the town all enter into an agreement
Okay,
that says if I don't finish the road to the town specifications, that they can take that money and finish the street.
okay,
And that's why that's how I can get a building permit, because they know that they have the money set aside to finish the road so that these people can actually drive to their houses
okay,
when that subdivision is accepted by
Okay.
the town. But it's just on paper
okay.
until the town takes an action.
The town doesn't actually have the money.
Okay, thank you for the
But
clarification.
the town holds your credit rating in lieu of that money sitting there as of '08.
And trust me, they put it up, they have collateral for it.
Yeah.
Or they have the cash, one or the other.
Okay, onward to Brice Lemon, bond reduction on Brice Lemon. And
Phase 1,
Let's see,
so I think Carl's got 2 reports, phase 1, actually 3.
let's see that. I think that's in the supplemental, is it?
Yeah, it's number 4.
Supplemental as well.
The problem,
Why
this is where
am I,
we need to ask the questions, because
You want this?
I was gonna say, I'm definitely missing some stuff here.
what do we do with this? Because the roads haven't been accepted in phase 1
So
and
now you're
2.
at this point, phase one.
Well, they
Phase two
were
is after
accepted in
that.
phase 1, but
Okay.
the town didn't record that piece of paper I gave them.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's not real hard to do either. I walked over and Anita attached a nice vote certificate to it and off to the races.
Okay, so, phase one, Brice Lemon. We got the same situation. The original bond was $1,106,000 in change, and the last bond reduction brought it down to $13,656.
Which really, by now, it's been over a year since the town accepted it the first time.
Yeah, and
I mean, whatever you're gonna do there, it's only 13 grand, it doesn't matter.
I'd almost put, and I don't know if we can do this, but put a condition on this, I don't know, bond reduction upon approval at fall town meeting. See, I don't know how to do that, because
yeah.
the road's been out there for more than 2 years. It was, quote, accepted a year ago, but the paperwork wasn't filed.
Yeah.
So I have a hard time holding anybody to
I do.
to a 2-year warranty.
I do on
Well,
this
actually, I don't think it's fair is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, it's gonna be more like 2.5.
Not the road that I think about. It's the detention ponds for all the phases.
Well, that's in phase 2, which that's a different number, and I'm okay somewhat with that one. But phase 1, I mean, it's been 2.5 years, so I don't know how to condition this, Norm. That's the problem I've got. It's not accepted, so we're not following our subdivision bylaw if we just say not to have any bond. But I don't know how we legally say if the road's accepted at fall town meeting, with that acceptance, you can petition to have the bond zeroed, I guess, is what I'm saying.
I can petition anytime. You
Yeah.
guys can say yes or no. You just leave it up to me. I'll come back. And I'll ask.
So do we, because right now the bond is set at 13,656.25. That's where it's held at, correct?
Right.
I'd leave this one alone. I'll let you come back, Clea, after the town meeting if it's accepted, and petition for it to be removed. That'd be my suggestion.
And I would say we would not, there would be no good reason that we have to wait another year.
No.
No.
That's what I don't want to say I don't want to speak for the board, but that'd be my opinion. I would say we've seen that road for 2.5 years. There's no defects in workmanship. As soon as it's approved by the town, I have no problem releasing the bond.
Yeah, it's not that far away either.
No, it isn't.
So I guess I would say on this surety request, no action.
Well, I think the language would be like similar to
Yeah, it'd have to
Maple
be-
Hill Estates, we just
It'll be the
maintain
same thing
the
Okay.
number.
as Maple Hill.
It's like the
You remember what you
statute.
said?
No, I don't, but I'll try and I'll go through. This is the motion, to maintain the tripartite agreement, which is the surety provided for in Mass General Law, Section 41, I guess that's paragraph 81U, of $13,656.25, based on the Quinn Engineering Report dated August 22nd, 2022, for the project known as Phase 1 Brice Lemon Estates.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, Dick?
Aye.
Marilyn?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Norm? Aye. Okay, okay, that was phase 1. Excuse me.
Now this is what I'm gonna need some help on. Phase 2, we got all the as-built and everything for fall town meeting.
Already done.
Yeah, but we
Yeah,
received all that, and that was,
I have to submit it again.
Yeah, okay.
But what happened the last time with phase one is they didn't have to have, like, the planning board just recommended it, and the select board, they didn't, they didn't have to have another public hearing.
Yeah,
You
okay.
know what I mean? Because they already had one. Then they-
I'm okay. Oh, God, we're in this. It hasn't been approved, so if we reduce this,
Can I say something?
yeah.
You always do bond reductions periodically. Anyway, that bond reduction is from, I didn't even ask for a bond reduction. When we went to the Springtown meeting, it was 200 and something grand. It should have been 40 then. But it wasn't. So you would have, just under the normal course of business, reduced that because the work's finished. You don't need to hold the money anymore.
We've got all the as-bills, right, and everything's blessed, Carl? That's what I thought. So Norm, I know this sounds odd, but I wouldn't have a problem reducing the bond to 40,000 as long as we hang on to it till next November, or whenever the town meeting is, 1 year from that. That's the only,
Yeah.
that's my only prerequisite.
Well, I can ask in May and you guys can say no.
Yeah.
But that's, I'm gonna come back, because it's truly been warranted for a year. It
I
just
know.
hasn't been accepted under
Mhm.
weird circumstances. So I'll ask and you can say either yes or no.
Okay. Oh, so this actually needs to do a reduction, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Make a motion to reduce the tri-party agreement, which is the surety provided by General Laws, Chapter 41, Section 81U, from $223,556.06 to $40,000, $40,737.21. Based on Quinn report dated August 22nd, 2022, on the project of Phase 2 Brice Lemon Estates. That's the lawyer side.
Yeah, I guess. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Silence. Then, roll call. Tim?
Aye.
Dick?
Aye.
Marilyn?
Aye.
Norm, aye. And onward to Phase 3.
This is where I got some questions.
Me too.
And Carl's here, so he's all prepared.
Mr. Chairman?
Yep.
So on this, you say authorized detention basin amendment. So that, I assume why you have Kyle here, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Part of that bond is 250.
$63,510 and
for that-
78 cents.
What that's trying to replace. So maybe it's not the right time to vote that, because of that, well, unless it doesn't get authorized tonight, then bring it down, but that's not gonna be part of the approved plan any longer. That's why and that's a lot of dough, you know? It's half the bond.
Yeah. We're gonna have some good discussions
Well,
about
it's
that.
500, what's the bond, 560 grand or something?
Yeah, right now it's,
700.
yeah, it's 603.34, 13, 600,000, and it's being reduced to 567.
Oh,
Right.
there's more.
Yeah, there's 2 pages.
Okay, 3 pages.
Yeah, the third is like
I was looking at the first page and I said, what?
Yeah, and then there's the estimate for the 35,000.
Just so you know, this is substantially less cost to build this, the new detention basin, than it is to put in that underground piping system.
Yeah.
Do we want to put this aside for now and
I
take a
would
look
say-
at the detention modifications? It's all under the Brice Lemon.
Yeah, this is my opinion. I would push this to the next meeting, because I think there's gonna be some good discussion on that detention pond.
Yes. I don't
So-
think there's any doubt.
That's my opinion, because depending on what, okay,
I agree 100%.
okay, so the applicants, do we need a motion to push it, or just, we'll put it on the agenda
Well-
for next meeting?
I'll just say for completeness, if we just get a motion that you take up the surety for Brice Lemon Phase 3 at the next meeting, I'll just
Okay.
flag that as a follow-up item.
All right, I'll make a motion to, move the tri-party agreement, which is the surety provided per Mass General Law, Section 41, I'm sorry, Chapter 41, Section 81, for the project known as Brice Lemon Phase 3 until a following meeting.
That's fine.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion on this one? Hearing none. All in favor? Dick?
Aye.
Marilyn?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Norm? Aye. Okay, now.
Mr. Chair, this is supplemental information from the DPW director on this matter. This is the detention replacement, I assume we're gonna get it.
This is his big, this is his email. It's pretty extensive too.
Carl, how'd you like to come on up?
Yeah.
At the table, or?
Sure.
You wanna read this from Chief?
I haven't seen it.
Okay, good, there you go.
We ought to also say that this came in late in the afternoon at 5:20 or so PM. Staff retreated as quickly as possible to get to the work for tonight's meeting, which started at 6.
Is that something from Joe?
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I need to know.
That's why I
Did
was,
you send it to me, Dave? I didn't see it.
There's another copy. I guess you have it. There you go.
Oh, man, he writes more than Carl.
yeah, he was pretty extensive on this one. There's so much in here, Norm. Carl, you're not, as an engineer, I couldn't digest this in one meeting. I need time to look this over. We're talking a couple hours to digest this and look at it. You tell me if I'm right, wrong, or indifferent.
So with respect to Joe's comments, I'll leave that up to you guys. I can talk to you about the stuff, my comments, if you want while I'm here. Happy to
Okay.
do that.
Okay,
If
well,
that helps clarify anything.
Let's at least start there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I guess, as I think maybe Dave kind of explained to you, in that last report, the things that you particularly, you know, deferred to the board.
There,
At least we feel that they're pretty technical in nature.
Yep.
And I guess for myself, I certainly don't have the qualifications to
no, and that's fair, and I
decide
don't mean
on
to
those, you know.
put it on you
And-
guys, but it's
yeah.
a decision to be made, and it's
Yeah.
not my place to
Mhm.
make it, so I just present you
Yeah.
with what I see and say, I'll defer to you guys on how you want to handle it.
So
Um,
as much information, clarification,
Yep.
whatever you can give.
Absolutely. If I put the plan on the table, can people online see it?
Possibly, I also have a plan on,
Oh, okay.
I have the, what plan, you referring to this one?
A different one.
No,
It's
that's a
This
detail.
plan
15
here?
of 23. That's it right there.
Yeah.
At least that looks like it.
Yeah, so this is up here. we can go
Okay.
like this.
So just so you guys know, if you don't mind, we can just talk about it
Yep.
over here. So there's and Clete, feel free to jump in at any point if I'm speaking out of turn.
If you want to move up a little closer, you can.
There's a
That's all right, because I'm gonna need Michael.
there's a detention
Fit us
basin
both will come.
on lot 98R and 99R.
Mm-hmm.
Main Street is out here.
Yep.
This is phase 3 as you're coming in from Main Street. This would be on your right, sort of at the bottom of the hill.
Yep.
You probably actually haven't seen this area, because typically when you're driving up here, this is like 30 feet lower
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
So there was a plan done originally that was approved, and that consists of an underground detention area, which are a series of rows of 48-inch diameter pipes connected together, where the water just, from the roadway, the water goes in there, it hangs out, and it's released at a slow rate so that they meet their
It acts
stormwater.
like a tank, correct?
It's like a big tub, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So they do that in order to meet stormwater management standard number 2. You can't increase runoff rates downstream, so they have a giant tub, the water goes in there, and they let it out real slow.
And does that, Carl, because of the way that was designed, does that assist in the velocity rate of the water coming off of that slope with the design that was previous, not the one
Yep.
that's being proposed?
So the previous design only collected water from the street drain system.
Okay.
So anything that went into a catch basin and got piped there is what went in there. It
Okay.
didn't do anything from the houses or
Okay.
the slope immediately adjacent. It's an underground system, it's buried,
Okay.
the pipes are underground.
Okay.
Just for informational purposes, the cost of 48-inch diameter pipes has gone up a lot. The last budget that we gave you guys, I think it was $80 a foot, and I called the guy yesterday, and it's up to $126 a foot.
Yeah.
So when you see a surety estimate that goes from 600-something thousand to like 500-something thousand, you'd say, what's up? That's kind of what's up. So this plan here is, they've requested an amendment to that approved plan. So they want to build this plan instead of the 48-inch diameter pipe system. So this is a basin, which you've seen. It's a little odd in that there's a wall proposed back here. So as you're driving in, this would be the far side of the basin, a freestanding wall.
Concrete wall.
At least I assume it's concrete. There's no design that's been submitted yet, but it can't have joints because the water will go through, so I'm assuming it's concrete.
And therein lies, I guess for the board, my problem. I'm not approving anything, like I said, multiple meetings until that design is in our hands. So we can talk about this and all that, but I'm not moving forward until we have a design. That's again me.
Yep. So,
Can I make a comment to that? So, it can be a condition, but.
Nope. We need a complete set of plans. That's in our
You're gonna
bylaw.
ask me to design a wall you may not approve. You can't go that way.
Yes, I can.
You have to-
No, I
No.
can't. It's a complete set of subdivision plans with every detail in it. If we don't have that, me personally, I'm not moving forward. Because I don't have it. I don't know what's going in, and I'm not gonna wait till after it's built to come up with that plan. We've done that in the past.
You do know what's going in, it just needs a structural design.
Exactly.
The point is, it can be a condition. What I'm asking is, if I go out and have a structural guy design a wall, and you guys say, I don't like the wall, I don't want the wall, it doesn't make any sense. But if you say, the condition is that I have to see that structural design approved before you can start any construction on that, or before it's approved, then at least it does the same thing. But it doesn't hold me to go out and hire a structural engineer and have all the steel design and all the other stuff that has to go into it ahead of time. But if it's conditioned that way, it can be approved, and then you're still protected.
Yeah, but that argument could be used for roads, could be used for sewer and water
It
systems.
should be.
Well-
You can condition anything. Those culverts at Brintnal Estates, those aren't getting built unless it gets approved by a structural guy. And for walls that size, I need a building permit. Never mind you guys approving it. I gotta go see the building inspector before I can even start that wall.
Okay.
So I mean, I agree with you that you should not have to accept anything that you don't see the 100% design.
Yeah.
But it can be conditioned that way and not say, no, I'm not doing that.
I'll take,
You know,
please, I'll take that under advisement. I got no problem with that.
Fair enough.
And see, I think one of my other concerns with that wall was the base. I mean,
The footing.
yeah, the footing, basically. I think we have a
Peter Crane, Concom Chair again. This I would be shocked if DEP, who has permitting authority over this, would consider this a de minimis change, and so therefore I would think there would need to be wetlands permitting as well, because there's a lot of digging and construction immediately adjacent to the wetlands. I'm not saying it can't be done, I'm saying there's a permitting process, that's all I'm saying.
Can I make a comment to that? So, anything to do with drainage is usually based on a Concom approval. So, we have permission to actually work in that wetland now, in that buffer zone. We're not in the wetland though, Peter.
No, adjacent to, yeah.
We're in the buffer zone. So, what happens is, like you guys mentioned, the footing on the wall. That's tested, the dirt underneath that is tested by Yankee Engineering and approved to a certain amount of compaction. And the structural engineer comes in and says, you need to add so much stone under it so that the water goes underneath it and all the other stuff that goes into it. And until people see that, the work is, by the way, the work out there is already done. I don't know if you've been by there, but, I mean, the basin is, temporary.
Oh, yeah.
The basin's already temporary, so whatever change we'd be making there now, and you're right, it's not de minimis, it's eliminating all those, bringing in a lot more fill and stone and things like that, so it might be just a phone call to Gary, but I would think that, it would probably, may require them to take a look at it, but again, that's not planning board.
It is, yeah, I would agree that DEP has jurisdiction on this because they own the orders.
Right.
But you don't get to do anything you want with the orders that you have now. You have a plan that you have submitted that you're supposed to be living up to. That's part of the orders are for the plan that was submitted, and changes to the plan need to be approved separately.
That's correct.
So that's all I'm saying, is there is a change to the plan.
I agree with you 100%.
That's all I'm saying.
100%, and we would do that as a matter of course.
And part of our conditions, Norm, is all permits have to be met, if I remember the conditions correctly.
Yeah.
So,
Well, yeah, so I wouldn't go there before I get done here, because I don't know what's gonna happen here.
yeah.
Is the water in this detention basin going to come right up to that wall at any time?
No.
Really, at a 4-to-1 slope off the back of a property, you're not gonna have water there. You're kidding me, right? I can take you to Brintnal and show you a big difference off of 4-to-1 ratios of where water comes.
The rest of the rest of the detention pond is far enough below the base of that wall that the water will never get up to the level of that wall.
Not to the top of it.
Oh, you're saying
No.
on the other side. I was saying on the house side is what I was worried about.
On the,
Oh, you mean
on the,
from the wetlands?
on the inside of the detention
Oh,
pond.
you're coming from a different angle, Norm. I'm sorry.
I'm
You're asking
confused.
from the outside?
From the outside or the inside?
The inside,
From the
Yes.
inside.
yeah. Will it?
The water doesn't overtop that wall.
But it comes up to it.
That's not, his question is hitting the base of the wall.
Yeah.
I believe there's, I don't have the calcs in front of me, but I believe it did have freeboard, which is a requirement, so when.
Okay, it doesn't
I
go
wanna
over,
say
but it
that has a
definitely comes
foot
up
freeboard,
to
I
it.
don't
Okay,
recall off the top of my
Okay.
head.
It's got a,
No,
it's got a foot
no.
of freeboard.
Yeah.
So your wall's probably,
mhm.
from memory, probably 5 feet high.
Right.
Yeah, it is.
It's just
So-
gonna, that's
so the water
during
comes
the
up to
biggest
the 4
storm
foot
that they
mark.
designed for, there's gonna be 4 feet of water
Mhm.
up against that wall. So the wall needs to be designed for that hydrostatic load, which is
Is that a
where
wall?
the structural comes in.
That's a bunch.
Yeah, that's a levee. That's not a wall.
It's not,
Well,
it's not a dam because it's under 6 feet and doesn't hold back the acre foot volume that would qualify it as a dam.
Okay,
Well,
So,
If I may, one of the DPW's questions that he didn't come up with an answer to is this a wall? Is this a weir?
Yeah.
Is this a levee?
yeah. Didn't say dam.
It did say that, because I agree that, but I think that question also needs to be answered to the DPW satisfaction.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to go through Carl's comments, and then I think there needs to be some time to absorb from Clee's standpoint and Michael's standpoint, take a look at the DPW's comments and return comments. That's my opinion.
We're looking at them, and honestly, they're pretty, they're pretty good. I mean, I think they probably can be discussed here.
Okay.
But we want to finish with Carl and have him here for
Yep.
those two, so.
Sure. So, just to sort of get back to the general description of it, so
Yeah.
there was an underground detention system that was approved. This is being submitted or requested as a change. It's an above-ground basin, and the idea is it's a swap of underground volume in pipes for an above-ground basin. So this thing is supposed to do the same thing that the underground detention area did. So what's different about this, obviously, is that there's that freestanding wall right there. And so during some storm event, there's gonna be water up against the wall. And so that's basically comment number 2, which is one of those ones where I defer to the board to. It's a different configuration. You know, you don't see these things. I'm not sure I've ever seen it, to be honest with you. Not to say it can't be done, it's different.
Okay.
Comment number 3 has to do with access into the basin for maintenance. So typically when you have a basin, there's some sort of an access either to the berm or into the basin. The idea is when it's full of water and you gotta figure out what's wrong with it, you can drive a bobcat or somebody can go in with a hoe or a rake or whatever and figure out what's going on. So in this case here, they've got an access from the road into the basin itself, which is fine. But typically, you also provide access around the top of the basin, which you can do to here, but then once you get to the wall, you're stuck.
Yeah.
So if you want to get to the outlet control structure and there's 3 feet of water in the basin,
Still way to
it's
get
gonna be a
to.
job,
Yeah.
because there's a slope here and wetland and woods over here. So
Have to get a boat.
something.
Yeah, but how do you get the boat back there?
Scuba.
Yeah.
So that's basically what comments 3 and 4 are about, is access to the basin, and typically there's an access way around the basin on the berm that you can get to the outlet control structure from one side or another. Like, for example,
And you basically said, Carl and Ford, there's just, you don't see any way to get access to that control area.
if there's 3 feet of water in there, or something happened, or whatever, you know,
Yeah, that's what I was reading.
it's a problem.
Can I ask a question though?
Make the
I
wall,
mean-
make the wall wide enough to drive over.
You could do that,
Well,
then it's a dam, right?
but I want to have a question on that,
Yeah.
just quickly. I mean, as far as those basins, I mean, there's basins in Rolling Ridge, I don't think anybody's ever even looked at them since we turned the road. Because they're full of trees and the trees are this big. I mean, there's not really a time, unless you gotta get in there and clean it out for some reason. And if you gotta do that, then, I mean, you're down there with excavators anyway. It's not something that, I mean, detention ponds, to me, are, you know, farce. But they don't, you know, it's not something that you're gonna be going in there where there's 3 feet of water. And I understand where Carl's coming from. Yeah, if you do, you can't get over there. But 9 times, or 99 times out of 100, if you ever do go down there, which I can see me going down there to clean it out before I turn it over to the town, and then I don't see anyone ever going down there again. And I think that we have to look at things realistically, not, you know, what could happen or what's the worst that could happen or anything like that. Detention ponds, I mean, what happens if those 4-foot pipes fill up with dirt? How are we gonna clean them? I mean, they're 200 feet long. And there's 7 of them, 7 rows, 200 feet long. This has the same or more volume, this will hold the same or more volume, and to take access into consideration is prudent. I mean, we've got access, but access to the other end, 99 times out of 100, you're not gonna have any issue getting in there to clean that out, if you ever go back there anyway. Is that kind of, do you kind of agree with that, Kyle, or am I speaking out of turn?
So I'll agree that they don't get maintained very often,
Yeah,
because nobody ever does it.
no,
But
but
Joe's got a permit. Joe Buckley has a permit with the EPA for stormwater. And ultimately, there's a maintenance plan for this basin that should be done on an annual basis. Somebody should go in and mow it. It's gonna be the homeowner association.
Yes.
Assume here.
HOA is responsible.
And
for
so the maintenance of the basin should get done. Whether it does or doesn't is a different question. But it's sort of tied to Joe's permit too, where this is a stormwater discharge in the town, and he's responsible for all those discharges, and if there's,
No way to get to it or maintain it, then
if there's a
isn't he in
problem,
trouble?
then it's Joe's problem.
Yeah.
So I understand what Clee's saying, that a lot of times these things don't get maintained. It might never fail. There might never be a problem with it. But you gotta sort of think of those things.
And those 48, have you ever done a design with those 48-inch pipes or seen a design?
I've seen something close, I've done something close to it, yeah.
Okay. Has the question came up about maintenance of them?
Mhm.
And what's the answer?
So typically there's.
Back truck?
It's something close to that.
Yeah.
Typically, there's like a manhole
Yeah.
on, strategically placed on a couple ends of them, and they have these like water jets, basically. You stick a hose in, and it's got a jet that points back,
Yeah.
and so you pull it through, and it jets all the water back to you.
Yeah,
and
we do that with
it-
condensers and
and then you-
boilers, same thing.
You suck it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's typically how those are maintained.
You think this costs a lot?
But like I said, maintenance of those, of anything probably isn't gonna get done, and if it's underground, it's less likely to get maintained than if it's above ground,
Yeah.
which is
No, I'm fine.
something
I
else.
just wanna make sure
Yeah.
I'm weighing apples to
Yeah.
apples.
Yeah,
So to get back to that, if I get down there with an excavator and there's 3 feet of water in it, I can go through it with an excavator. I can make holes in it, I can do whatever I need to do to get the water out of that. And there's a low flow channel, you know what that means? There's a drain in it. So anything that sits on the bottom, away it goes, goodbye. So the water's not gonna stay in there for very long. I don't think that should be, we should be worried about getting to the other end of the basin rather than having all of that underground storage. That's just a complete waste of money and time. And I guarantee you that there's money in the homeowners association because you guys make me put $50 in every lot. I'll guarantee you, you never go near that basin. At least in our lifetimes. So that's my 2 cents on that.
so that's comments 3 and 4, basically, access and maintenance. If you go down to comment number 10, that has to do with inspection and maintenance of the wall. So there's gonna be a wall in this basin, the homeowner association's gonna own it. What happens if there's a crack in the wall?
Yeah.
What happens if the wall settles, blah, 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 blah. So provide something, they should provide something on how to handle it. And I understand what Clee's saying, that he doesn't want to design a wall right now because it's not even approved.
But you can't comment on it.
But you can't comment on it, review on it,
If you don't
review
have
it
the
unless,
design.
unless you got it, so.
And 12, that's something, I know that's the board's mostly stayed away from, but I was adamant in the last meeting saying a chain link fence with poly coating
So-
on top. That's my opinion.
So the idea on that comment is not just to limit access into the basin, but also prevent a kid from climbing up on top of the wall.
Yeah, yeah, that's why,
So
yeah.
to make sure the fence wraps around the basin so that little Joey doesn't climb up there and fall in the basin, break his leg and drown.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those kids play in that other detention pond, I mean, I wouldn't
Oh,
be
yeah.
near that thing. Looks like quicksand. You have to have the places in the detention pond down there, it's crazy.
I just,
So those are the gist of the comments. But like I said, they're comments that are provided for the board's information. It's not that I'm trying to saddle you with a burden here, but it's, you guys make the decision on what kind of can be allowed. I just try to present you with information to help you make a decision, that's all.
yeah, and that's why, a lot, in my opinion, I've got some skill set, but I am not a civil engineer.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
why I suggest
Yeah.
the board go to Director Buckley and let him provide us some comment of what his thoughts were.
So can we hit his comments? There are not too many of them. Joe's comments are, the wall, is it a wall? Is it a levee, a dam, a weir? And I think an engineer needs to quantify that. So I can tell you it's a wall. It's more, what, 5 feet high? It's not a huge deal, it's only 5 feet high, but it does require a building permit, and it will be designed to hold water. If it's a simple wall or the side of a pond, is it actual vertical, therefore exceeding the slope referenced in their response? I think they allow walls, don't they? In the stormwater regulations?
With proper,
As long as it, yeah.
with, what was it? Basically, if they're appropriately designed and stabilized.
So they do allow them, right, Carl?
That I don't know.
He said.
Is there a
yes.
section that specifically says it?
Yeah.
I don't know that there's a section that specifically says.
That says that,
A
but
wall.
it says what? How is it?
It can be, I guess, the wall can be steeper than the 3-to-1 slope if appropriately designed and stabilized.
Boy, what was that word again?
Appropriately designed and stable.
Yeah, I'm hearing the word design, and I
Yeah,
don't
no,
see any
yeah,
of
no,
it.
we're not disagreeing with you. If it's a
Just-
levee or a weir dam abutting a wetland, I think the permitting needs to start there. Like, if I don't have it approved, I don't need to ask the Concom. But I will ask the Concom. If a condition, I agree, we gotta go back to the Concom.
So if you guys don't mind my 2 cents, I think Cleve's first step is here. See if
Yep.
you guys will approve it. If you approve it, then it's a change for sure. He has to go with whatever other permitting authorities there are and say, I get my plan changed. You guys need to modify your permits. But I think this is the first step here.
Could we move forward with the condition that prior to any construction of this wall, we receive the full engineering plans?
Any construction at all, I would say. I mean, for your protection, I'm not gonna do anything for my own. I'm not gonna do anything till it's approved.
If you guys decide to do that, I think you could probably put a condition on it too, that if something's presented that you're uncomfortable with, maybe you can reopen the meeting and review it again. Like I know you sort of close the book when you approve it.
Yeah, see, that's the
But if the
problem.
condition, can you put a condition in there that says,
You have to approve the.
Or subject to review of the...
subject to review and approval of a wall and maintenance plan?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yep, I like that.
Dave, any thoughts?
I just wanted, if you're gonna recite a condition, if you could just go through it again, so we have it here.
So this pond doesn't have any infiltrating gallery, right? So, I mean, basically, just to go over what was happening before and what's happening now, the pipes held a certain amount of water because we created all this impervious up there. And it runs off really fast, and the water comes into this pond, and it holds it for a certain amount of time, and it goes out. Basically, that's all the pipes are doing. So this is just the same thing, but it's, instead of being a series of pipes that cost $1 million, it's just a big hole in the ground with a wall. I mean, it's doing the same thing that the pipes were doing, but for a whole lot less money. And
It's a dump truck versus a tow truck is what it is.
it could-
I'm trying to relate this where, you've got a expensive truck that dumps water, lift, all that stuff, or you just tow it in the back of a truck and open the back thing and it goes out. That's what I'm trying to relate these two.
Swimming pool versus a septic tank.
Yeah,
I think swimming
Either
pools-
one, I'm
Swimming
just-
pools are nicer.
yeah.
I'm struggling with this because, I'll be the one to say this. This all comes down to money. Has nothing to do. The first design is an excellent design, and I like it. This design is saving money, and to me, it's got holes in it. And I'm not convinced yet. I'm reading. I mean, again, I just read some of these comments, and
I have a question. If the system fails, I live on Brintnal, so, in the beginning of Brintnal, so we have those slope, so I know how bad it can be if water gets messed up. So what would happen if the system failed? Would this put any houses at risk? Would it just give somebody a muddy lawn? What would happen if the system failed?
Most likely, it would contaminate the wetlands.
yeah, it's the wetlands
Okay.
behind it that's going to get all the contamination.
Okay.
There's such a slope on this property, I doubt there'd be any water ever get up by any of the houses, because, I mean, I'm guessing a 30-foot drop between the houses and where this will be.
Yeah.
So you'd have to have 30 feet of water to get up to the houses.
So we're concerned about it contaminating the wetlands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, does any of that drain into any of our drinking water?
No.
So why are we,
That's not so clear, I'd have to look at the maps.
okay.
Yeah, I want to make a comment on that because I'm not sure.
Mr. Chair, I know it's a small town, everybody seems to know each other, but just for the record, if you
Oh, I'm
can just
sorry.
identify
Oh,
yourself.
sure, my name's Amanda Ando,
Thanks.
And your address?
2 Brintnal.
Thanks.
No problem. And I have no
Oh,
stakes
you're
in
that house.
I am that house, and I have no stakes in any of this. I'm not an engineer, I don't know, I'm just curious, because I know what happened to our property and our neighbors
Yeah,
with
I
the
live
water.
across from you, so I know, I've seen that.
Yeah,
and I'm just down the street.
yep.
The reason, excuse me, Tim, the reason that we're spending so much time on this, that there's a multitude of variety of federal and state laws that need to be addressed, as well as there being a change in the plan.
Okay, thank you.
So one point that I'd like to make, Joe says strictly from a stormwater compliance standpoint, this is, I'm reading from Joe's thing, you can swap one BMP for another. He says it's like switching pool filters for your backyard pool from one brand style to another. His thoughts focus on placement of the detention pond and construction. And most critical to him is the proposed wall.
Yeah.
So I don't think, from his standpoint, if, I am glad a registered professional engineer stamped and approved the BMP as well as the details for the control structure and properly documented it meets stormwater standards, and it does. So it's basically, Kyle, we resolved any of the technical comments seem to be resolved. These things are more, how the board is gonna vote. And I would
What's your,
ask that you,
what's your thought about the rest of that comment?
okay, did I miss something?
Consider asking developer to consult with a registered civil engineer for siting of BMP, namely the grading for location and possible structural engineer, Mass PE, for the wall/weir.
So, Michael's a civil engineer.
No,
Oh, Doug is the stamper on that.
yeah,
Yeah.
but he didn't stamp it, if I'm not
He,
mistaken.
Doug stamped it.
Doug Best did.
Yeah.
He did,
Doug
Yep.
Best did.
okay.
Yeah. So, his stamp works
Then
for
why
all.
did, I'm confused.
Yeah, I was just gonna say what he was
No,
gonna
he's
say
not.
differently based on a conversation that I had
That's
with Joe this
mechanical, not civil.
afternoon.
Doesn't
If
matter.
we can treat
Yes,
this
it does.
detention structure as a black
Excuse
box,
me, the
water
water-
comes in, what's that?
Sorry.
I couldn't
Sorry,
hear-
sorry.
I
They
could-
couldn't hear
There's
him.
crosstalk here.
I could not hear what you were saying,
Okay.
Peter.
Based on a conversation I had with Joe this afternoon, and I'm just gonna basically say what he said in a different way. You can treat this detention structure as a black box. Water comes in, water goes out at a rate. Swapping one detention structure with a different detention structure that has the same parameters is entirely acceptable to Joe from a stormwater point of view. So I'm going back to what you were saying a few minutes ago, Tim, about questions about viability of the change. Joe believes that both structures work.
Yeah.
And Carl is nodding in agreement.
That's right. I think the biggest concern, or thing that stands out on this plan, and to be honest with you, I don't care if it's underground or above ground, it's just,
Yeah.
it's attention. Just that freestanding wall is different,
But it will work.
if designed appropriately.
We don't know how it's designed or anything like that, so me approving a plan, and I get, you put the conditions in there.
Yeah, then you're not approving it really until the condition is met.
And does the onus fall on you, Carl, then, to be the person that's running that?
I don't review structural stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see,
Falls on me.
yeah,
The structural engineer that would stamp it would own that design.
I've been through this game already once,
Yeah.
and I'm not going through it again
Yeah.
with Brintnal Estates. We had to chase down, we had to send letters asking for updates. I'm not going through that again, me personally. I don't know how the rest of the board feels, but I'm not going through that again. We've been through it once.
But I don't know that was,
And secondly, on Brice Lemon first, we never got any reports until after it was built. Not going through that again.
yeah, but nobody asked for any.
It's the frickin' law, or our bylaw that says you have to do
Yeah,
that.
what?
I mean, I don't need to be chasing down playing police cop for every developer in Rutland.
I'm not asking you to, but we follow the rules. Where do we miss some? Do you see what's going on Brintnal? I mean, there's an awful lot of work. Those things are perfect.
I'm not saying, and your structural engineer, I have a ton of respect for him, he's a great engineer. But we're doing the chasing, and I'm not excited about doing that. And the fact on Brice Lemon 1, that everything was built, and then we had to go back and ask, because I think when we did the as-built, we found out we never had, if I remember those comments, we didn't have any structural PE stamped drawings for that structure in Brice Lemon 1. Again, I'm
So,
I don't recall.
yeah, I can't
You
remember.
made me get them, and I got them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
it was
asked
after the fact, so during construction, we didn't have that. And
so what's your,
my point is,
no,
I'm not,
not your point, but what's your solution? You were talking about conditioning,
Yes, if you could just, the condition is that wall has to be approved by the planning board after a drawing is submitted that they will accept from a structural engineer. So I can't do anything in that detention pond until you guys approve the wall. But at least approve the system, the way that the BMP is, so that I'm not wasting my money going out and spending money on a wall, and you guys don't approve you say, I like the pipes. I just want to have this approved before I get the structural guy to go in and do the wall. And it's not gonna be a big deal.
So you want everything really approved, but the condition is on the wall.
Condition saying, whatever condition you guys want, before any construction is started, this has to be done, this has to be done, this has to be done, and it has to be approved by the planning board at a subsequent meeting before it can start. That's all I ask. I mean, right now, it seems as though the BMP is designed to work. It's gonna pretty much give you the same scenario that you had before with the pipes, just detaining the water. It's all it's there for. And I don't. It's just the wall that's a bug. And if you condition it to do that, it would be a big help to me, because that way I can get moving on it, and I can get those two houses. I can't build them really until I know what I'm doing down there.
what about these last 4 bullets that he has? If it's a levee dam, that, I'm not so much worried about that. It's talking about, once the drawings are done, so the conservation, Mass DP, Mass DCR, and the like can update the permits. That's, okay, that's permitting. Then the other one says the elevation change from the invert of the outfall of the proposed plan to the top of the proposed wall / levee per the drawing is proposed to be 5 feet and will need to go through, okay, the building inspector.
Definitely. I know.
So do we need to put that in ours, or is that just something the building inspector has to do?
It's code.
Okay.
If I do that without his approval, I'm
Okay.
tearing it down.
Well,
So-
okay.
So we're talking about what the conditions should be.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at, Marilyn.
Okay, good,
Because Joe's got all these bullets in here, and
right.
we just got them at 5 o'clock tonight, and I just didn't want to glaze over
No, I
them
agree with you.
and not give him his due, because he spent a lot of time putting this together.
No, I agree.
And it says something here, because it looks like this will hold water, the entire length of the wall / weir should maybe need to look more like a dam, shown in the detail sheet with bentonite / or parentheses clayberry to control seepage. I guess that's in the details of when it was going to be designed. It's,
You put a clay barrier in concrete? I
I
know you have to put clay barriers in them.
You're talking to a electrical. This is beyond my skill set. But obviously Joe knows something about this because he's asking the
Put it
question.
this way, I've
This
seen an
is on the top.
awful lot of leaky poured concrete cellar walls,
Oh, yeah, you need to tar them.
you know?
Yeah, you have to treat them. yeah.
So just pouring a concrete wall isn't waterproof.
No, I agree.
And then it says one option for detention pond could consist of additional fill, an earthen berm where the wall weir is proposed. I mean, he's got questions here, and I'm not sure. I mean, is that condition gonna cover all these? I guess that's what I'm asking the board. I don't know. And Carl, you help me out, because I'm weighing in on mechanical and civil issues that's
If I can
above
make a
my pay
comment,
grade.
the wall was designed to work. I mean, if an earthen dam with a clay barrier in it, that's 5 foot high, I think that has way more of a chance of causing a problem than a wall does. I don't know, I mean, I've built a lot of these, and I can tell you that you want to put an earthen berm up and put a clay barrier in it, I think that's,
Well, he's saying additional.
Now we're really getting back to details.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I just, you know, this is the way we think. We've gone through a million different scenarios on how this will work. This is the way we think it will work best. And if you can approve it, I'll make it work.
That last bullet, it's an option for
Yeah.
entirely different kind of.
That's a different
detention
design.
pond.
Yeah, and so
Totally different design. I don't, you know,
It's on the top of the second page.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically building an earthen dam. That's not, you know, and, you know, I respect what he's saying. I think it's more dangerous than of having a chance of failing than putting a wall down. I really do.
Significant amount of room to fit the volume that needs to be fit. So
Well,
we have to
yeah,
move up the
that's-
hill, which there is no up the hill.
There's no up the hill. Yeah.
I'm leaning towards, you know, approving it with the conditions. Dick, any comments from that side of the table?
Not on this end of the phone. Every day I would say something, but I won't.
And you don't have to come up with the conditions tonight. I mean, I'm not asking, you know, if you want to push it off to the next meeting to come up with the conditions, you know, I appreciate that. I mean, it's not something, unless you've got them in your mind already, fine, I like that, but,
Well,
you know.
Just so you guys know, there's a couple outstanding stuff on my memo, just, I haven't gone through and checked everything off yet.
okay.
I know they submitted new stuff, but then there was some question about if you guys want to take action on it, so I didn't look at it. So, the last couple comments,
Oh, 13 and 14?
yeah. So 6 I gotta look at, 12, 13, 14, just, I literally haven't looked at them, so I can't tell you it's all set. I mean, I'm not sure it's been addressed, but like I said, I can't tell you.
Boulder Wall on the north side.
Which ones are those?
Yeah, so number 12,
I'm not quite sure what you're saying here on number 12.
number 12, so there's a, the original comment was a fence or other barriers recommended to prevent unwanted access along the top of the wall.
Yeah.
And they put a fence in the plan.
Mhm.
And I said, a fence has been called out on the top of the wall. Oh, actually, they got a detail somewhere. I think it's on the detail sheet, maybe.
Yeah.
Fence along the top of the wall.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's good, but somebody can still climb on top of the wall. So number 12 is just put the fence so that nobody can climb on the wall.
Oh,
Something,
to prevent access to the wall is what,
You got
what
it,
the
yeah.
comment is saying?
yeah.
Okay.
So a little kid can't climb on top of the wall. It's one thing to put a fence on top of the wall, but that makes it even higher. If I was a kid, I'd think, I'm gonna climb the wall and I'm gonna climb the fence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Number 13, there was something that looked like a boulder wall. I assume it was a boulder, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's that?
Is this the
at?
newest, is this the newest plan?
This,
here?
I believe, is the newest plan, yeah.
Okay.
So right here.
That's called out now, stack boulders.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then a fence is recommended along the top of the wall adjacent to the access there. The board may also want to consider requiring a fence along the top of the slope in the rear of 98R and 99R due to the slope between the basin and the expected house locations. So they did. Okay.
So that's there.
All right, so that's there.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Carl, I mean, being in Rutland for some 20-odd years, Boulder anything in this town has not worked out well, to the point of even some basement walls separating from houses,
boulders?
from the boulders, yeah.
Yeah.
So my question is that, what, I need an opinion on that.
So, it's a slope coming into it.
Yeah,
So I don't know how high the wall is. I think it's probably a couple feet.
says,
But again, I haven't really looked at it.
yeah,
So if it's 4 feet, then I think technically it's a retaining wall and you need a building permit, I think.
yeah. Well, 0 to 4, it's okay. Once you get over 4 feet, 4 feet is the like
That's the magic
state.
number.
That's
Yeah.
the magic number, yeah.
Yep.
Anything over that, it's structural time.
Yeah. So, again, I understand what they're trying to do. Make the grades in a tight space, so.
Yeah,
He goes down the slope.
I mean,
He's at fail.
I guess, do we need to give you more time to look at this, or you?
It's up to you guys, whatever you wanna do.
I just don't wanna rush in this, because this is a major change.
Yeah.
I don't wanna drag it on for months, but
Yeah.
I don't wanna make a snap decision. And
Yeah.
Joe's comments, I mean, that was a freaking long email.
Yeah. Do you think you would have any further?
I want to let the cow fence on it.
What's that, Dick?
I want an electric cow fence, 4 barbed wire fence, electrified. All the people have to
Right next to
do
the
is
water.
walk it once and they'll never touch it again.
I don't disagree with him.
I don't think I'll have more comments. I just can't tell you that all my comments, and I mean,
Yeah.
just sitting here going through it, it looks like they are,
We have, yeah.
so, but I mean,
Are you talking about the whole thing or just this plan?
No, I'm talking about, I want everything blessed before we go yes or no. That's my opinion.
If you just jump in on this, so typical to what the board does is you like to see things resolved before you take a final action.
Yeah.
There's information that was submitted that has not been reviewed intentionally, pending the outcome of this conversation here. I think it might be useful if we could advise Carl as to whether there's been resolve on items 2, 3, 6, and anything else tonight, or if there's any more discussion needed on those, so that's more information that can go back in, and that no comment can be changed from defers to resolve. And then the information can be looked at that these folks have, and you can get at the next meeting some kind of a final memo and go from there.
That's what I was thinking.
It's because I'm hearing consensus on this BMP is an adequate substitute for the approved plan. So working off of that assumption, maybe that's just a way to resolve this.
Yeah.
But Kyle said he wouldn't have any more comments. We did fix number 6, that was
No,
the
the
biggest
comments
one.
that he'd have would be acknowledging what you people have in saying resolved, having looked at what you have submitted. We don't have that at this point, because he hasn't looked at the comments that were most recent.
There was just one really that was a big thing. But
Do you be comfortable with putting just resolved on 2, 3, and 4 at this point?
then if 6
yeah,
checks
because
out,
as long as I leave here tonight and you guys say, yes, we're comfortable with the way it's set up, then I'm gonna say, yeah, it's resolved. We talked about it and, you know,
And then that would give Tim, what he's looking for is the time to review this further in more
Mhm.
detail, because there really hasn't been a lot of time to respond to this that came in late. Understandably so, there's a lot of work put into it, that's totally acknowledged.
Yeah,
But still, there's
that's,
some substance here that needs to be thought through.
yeah.
and you can come up with conditions by then, so.
Yeah, but I would, yeah, I don't mind pushing this to the next meeting to approve it and also have conditions ready to go.
If
The
I could
next
just further
meeting.
jump in, I would request that Carl come up with the relevant conditions that would apply here. That would be a reasonable condition to implement, based upon your professional judgment.
yeah, so anything from my memo, I'm happy to comment on, condition-wise. Joe's email is something different,
Yeah.
I don't wanna talk
I'm
about.
not looking for comments
Yeah,
on his,
yeah.
I'm looking for a reasonable condition that would put to mind, put the piece that the actual review of the engineering plans would happen at a later point.
Okay, yeah, I can come up with some.
But in terms of responding to Joe's, no, I don't think that's
Yeah.
necessary. I think that's really for the board to look at and think about. If they have any more questions or comments in the meantime, come forward with those at the next meeting.
Okay. I'm comfortable with that, of coming up with approval and conditions for the next meeting.
Okay.
Works for me.
Okay.
Okay.
I think we're done with Bryce Lemon.
Next.
For now, next.
I have more supplemental information for the board. Thank you for sending this earlier, I appreciate that.
I just want to ask one more question about Brice Lemon.
Yep.
Seeing that this pretty much gets approved, maybe next meeting,
Yeah.
how about maybe looking at the bond and taking out the pipes and putting in the pond? So the next meeting, we can do all of it together.
That makes
I
sense.
mean, I've done 2 sets of books and pick which one you want.
Right, I
I've
mean,
done that
that would be
before.
fine.
I mean, we've got the one you've already done, Carl, so I guess I wouldn't have a problem if the board wouldn't have coming up with, call it option 2.
Yeah,
Using the second BMP as a choice, I'm fine with that.
okay,
Yeah.
swap it out.
Thank you,
Okay,
thank you.
can do.
Tim, you should be bouncing up and down right now.
Is this the second one? This doesn't look like this hand sketch. You gotta be kidding me. Isn't this the 2020s?
That's for the re-rod.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I did hear that Joe had told me that your structural guy is still a board guy, which I'm good with. I'm good with that.
He did a hell of a job on that bandstand. I mean, Dave McCray put him through the mill.
Yeah, I've heard about that, so I'm good. No. If this is his work, it's top notch.
Would you just like to maybe introduce what you're talking about so the public has some sense of
Yeah,
where we are in the
Yeah,
agenda?
these are the structural plans for the
Second?
second wetland crossing. Which the type is in print, it's slightly too small for my
Yeah.
eyes.
I'm the same boat. So this is, I guess, either Mike or please, is this all concrete? There's no blocks?
Blocks are already in. There's just, those are the footings. The wall's been designed by a structural engineer, and they've done their
And we've
inspection.
never seen it until today. Outstanding. I just, God. We-
That's actually the building inspector.
No, if I don't have something on a plan for a subdivision plan, it doesn't exist. For,
It isn't normal.
yeah, it is.
No, it's designed by others.
It's a detail on a subdivision plan of all-inclusive, and somebody tell me I'm wrong, and then I'll shut up.
It usually says designed by others. The subdivision plan, I don't know, I mean, it doesn't require, I mean, I could be wrong about this, but it usually doesn't require culvert crossings to be designed during the subdivision process.
Depends on who you ask, if you want my 2 cents.
Yes,
Yes,
please, because
please.
I'm over my head maybe, and if I'll shut up, because Maryland can't kick me.
It all depends on whatever municipality you're working in requires. So we've done jobs with crossings, we've had plans submitted as part of that process.
Yeah,
Other towns are different, where you can say, this is a crossing, it's, a box on paper, we're gonna design it after we get approved. If it has to go to the building inspector, it goes to the building inspector, and you figure it out. But as long as the design fits within that box, you show them the plan, then everybody's okay with it.
okay. We don't have,
So what I'm saying in here is like, it's not, like when we did the bridge, we didn't design the bridge, well.
yeah, because I was yelling, screaming. And nobody listened to me. I'm fine with that.
But we didn't design a bridge, but it got designed and it got approved the right way, and it's all accepted and in.
I will take exception to that and shut up.
All I'm saying is that
Yeah.
it's not a normal process that you design, at least in my world,
Yeah.
I've done quite a few of them, that you design those type of things during the approval process. It's always usually designed by others. And then, it's gotta be approved.
But I ask you, when does the approval process happen if the subdivision's already approved?
Those aren't approved though, Tim. Those aren't approved until they're designed by a structural engineer and the DPW accepts them. They don't, I'm not gonna go put in a structure like that and not have it designed properly and not have it approved.
But you did, you
I
said
did
you've already got the
not.
blocks in here, right? The building blocks.
No, those are all approved. Those walls are all approved as part of the design. Those walls are, those are structurally designed walls by Ready Rock, and I have a stamped engineer drawing, and he did all his inspections. He did, and Yankee did all their testing underneath.
Do we have that? I guess I'm gonna ask that question.
It isn't
Dave,
something
do
I
you
normally
remember?
would submit to the planning board.
Well, I think the question is, approved by who or
Yeah,
what?
exactly.
Because
Yeah,
when it comes to
exactly.
bridges and structures, maybe you can just fill in for this, everybody here, who actually inspects these things, because it's a different process, what happens in a normal building process for a structure. This is not a structure, so this has.
That's why I need my help.
So I think you're talking about different processes here. You're
Okay.
talking about bridges and walls and structures.
Yeah,
99% of the time need a building permit.
yep,
So the building inspector has purview over that. You guys approve a roadway with a wall and a culvert. You can approve the design of it subject to the wall and the culvert approval by the building inspector, or however you want to do it.
oh, that's the condition of
You
building
can do
inspector.
it different ways, yeah.
Okay, I'm good with that, I just,
But it's my understanding that the building commissioner, that the building code doesn't have jurisdiction for this type of structure.
If it's a wall over 4 feet, they do.
If it's a wall, yes.
Well-
And for this type of a culvert, DOT has jurisdiction over it as well.
Right, so
Well,
that's.
they have
ju-
design standards. They don't come out and inspect it.
yeah,
And
we've
you
been
don't-
through
you
that
don't-
already.
You don't submit it to them for approval, it's just, you got to design to their standards.
I think that's what's happening here. This has not been reviewed. The prior one does not have a building permit associated with it. I think it's the understanding that the DOT, whatever those specifications are going to control, and that the structural engineer will put a stamp on it,
Okay.
with the DOT standards being met, and that the inspection is done
Yep.
by the structural engineer. That seems to be what I'm getting out of this
Okay.
process.
So in that case, then, the structural engineer goes out, does his inspections, and
Yeah.
says to you guys, I certify that I was there, I designed it, it was installed the way I want it to be installed, and it's okay.
Yes,
Which is what happened on the
Sounds a little bit
first
like a fox
crossing.
guarding the hen house.
yeah, that was sort of what I thought too,
Which is
but,
what happened on the first crossing. That's the level of information you got from the
Yeah.
structural engineer.
correct,
Because that's the person who really has the say on this, in
yes.
terms of the permit authority.
Yeah, it's a little weird that way, where the guy who designed it is the one certifying that it's okay.
Yeah. mhm,
There's no,
Yeah.
second
mhm.
Oh,
party involved, but.
the guy Clee's using, I have implicit
He's a good man.
trust for, so,
I've dealt with him a couple times.
Yeah.
He seems very good.
yeah, I don't have an issue with that at all. I just wanna make sure we've got our i's dotted and t's crossed, that's all I'm asking. So, if the wall has already been taken care of by the building inspector, okay, I see a
No,
no.
DOT standards again.
Okay,
Once again, it's a DOT standard that's controlled.
Did
Did you get permit
And
for the
that's a
wall?
structural
A
engineer.
permit from the building inspector?
Yeah.
I don't know off the top of my
I
head.
don't believe you did. I think we're working under the concept that it's the DOT standard
DOT.
that's going to control, and that the structural engineer, working in accordance with that standard, is going to put a stamp on the plan,
Yep.
attesting that he's met the standard of the DOT, and that's going to be the
Okay.
controlling thing. There's been no building permits for this,
So,
because of where this seems to fall
okay,
as not your typical case where the building permit applies for a structure. This is outside of that for some reason.
I think you're
Okay.
right, yeah.
so in our reviews, we've been going along saying, at the end of the day, the town needs something from the design engineer saying that the wall and the culverts were built per plan and meets DOT standards.
yes,
And so when everything's all said and done, you guys are gonna get a letter from, assuming Mike Maroney,
Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
that everything's okay. Because that's what it falls back on, is once you guys accept the road, you've got certification from the structural guy saying that's okay, and if something happens, then it's on him.
and this is my take, and again, tell me to shut up, and I'm glad this is in front of us, but if the wall's built, can I get a letter for the board and our record saying that wall is structurally sound and ready to take this structure, this concrete built? Because I guess that's what I'm getting at. I want to have A, then B, then C. If the wall's done, and now we're moving on to the concrete base and sub-base, which is going, I presume, inside this wall area that's been built, is that correct? Am I?
I think what you're looking for is essentially a construction affidavit from the engineer that designed it and either
Yes.
oversaw construction
Yeah.
or comes and inspects it after the fact and
Yes.
states, this was built per the plan.
Yes.
I
And I'd
don't
like,
know if
yeah,
that's-
I'd
so
like to
that'll
have
go
the
to you.
plan too, that'd be nice.
So just to answer your question, to answer Tim's question too, the wall's built so that either side of the culverts, it holds dirt inside.
Yeah.
But where the culverts are, they're made bottomless so that you keep the wetland intact.
Yeah.
So the walls don't really do too much there because what I do is pour a head wall with concrete, and that's designed by a structural engineer. The walls basically hold up dirt on either side of it because it's a dip usually on that side. So the walls are an integral part of the culvert, to hold back the dirt from going into the wetland. Otherwise, you'd have a lot more fill in the
Yeah.
wetland.
But, I mean, I like this. Mike did a good job in this, but if we had the step before this of where the walls were built and him certifying with an affidavit, then this is what I call phase 2. And then when this is built, he'll certify that, and then I think that's it. I don't know, is there anything after that I'm missing?
The guy who designed the walls has done all his inspections, and he will give you that affidavit that when, the walls are built according to his plan and they're done correctly.
And a
He's been
design,
there
and the reason I asked for a design drawing, because if Joe's ever got to fix this, he's got to hand that drawing to somebody to fix. And he wants to know what he's going to have to fix. And saying that it's built correctly without a drawing of how it was built, I'd really like to have that in our hands too, so it's part of the documentation that goes with the subdivision.
A big part of the walls, just so you know, is drainage. The water kicks up against the walls, and that's what blows them out. So you have to put a lot of stone in there. The water has to be able to drain into the stone, and there's pipes underneath those walls in the stone that lets the water out.
Clea, I'm good with that, but I'd like to see a drawing of all that, so if it's ever got to be replaced because, I don't know, an excavator or a fire truck tears it out, Joe can hand those plans to, I don't know, R.H. White and go build this for me. But without that, we have no way to ever replicate this.
So, those plans must exist somewhere.
Oh, yeah, I have them. Yeah, I'll give them to you.
So it sounds like that's what,
Yeah, it's
he just wants a copy of those
sure.
and
plans.
to give it to Dave or somebody to get into our records.
You want to add it to the plan set for the subdivision.
Yeah,
On
yes,
another page.
yeah.
Okay.
That's it. That's all I want to do is make sure we've got documentation. That's it. So, as I told Joe, either him or his replacement in 15 years when he retires will be able to fix something. That's it. That's all.
Okay.
Okay, are we done with Brintnal? You didn't get over to take a look lately.
I haven't been over there yet.
No.
I will.
Water and sewer done. Drainage is just about done. Both water and sewer have been tested for quality and quantity, and pressure tested, obviously, and we've tied into the wet wall.
Are you still planning while they are there to running your sewer out to Brintnal for Hilltop?
Trying to, yes. As long as I can get them to give me the right number, I want to get that done right now while I'm there.
I have a question. Is that the new development that's right before the Joneses property?
Yeah.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay, anybody, anything new on, anything more on Brintnal? Okay, Bear Hill 2, the only thing is, I took a ride up there, you've got, what, 4 foundations in, I believe, at this point?
Up at Arrowhead?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And we got more going in.
And framing was started on one of them, I believe.
Yeah.
There's nothing else clear on that.
That's,
All the sewer, water, all that stuff's in up there and connected around. Yeah,
oh,
Arrowhead.
God, yeah, all tested and.
All right. All right, so now it's just basically building permits and houses, correct?
And by the way, those 2 existing houses are finally on power, underground power. They
Oh,
disconnected all those, they're gonna pull
Oh,
those
yeah.
poles pretty quick. They come up the side.
yeah,
Interesting.
interesting. Okay.
Okay, so that's it. Which,
Come with me?
I think we've done with
Yeah.
it. I think.
Sorry.
Does anybody have any other questions for Carl before we leave?
Dave, do you have this in like a PDF form?
Nice to meet you.
Yes.
I think I've
I
seen
just want to
it.
get it added. All I want to do is
Two
make sure we got a
Brintnals on the
complete set
first
somewhere.
house on the right. So the first one on Brintnal.
I just,
Right where 56
it's
is.
just documentation. I'm
Yep.
working for a company now that doesn't have documentation,
Yeah.
so it's,
Yeah.
I'm struggling.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Carl, thanks for putting up with me.
Yeah. I guess just that, I don't know, everything seems to get more complicated all the time, no matter what. It really does. That and I'm getting old, I understand less.
I think it looks okay.
All right. Good night, guys.
All right,
Thanks,
night.
guys. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
are most meetings this long?
Oh, we're not even into the serious long meeting yet.
Oh, okay.
10 o'clock is usually a
No.
kidding.
Well, no,
Summer
No,
meetings
that's
are
true.
short.
We've had quite a few 10 o'clockers.
We have had meetings that have gone as long as 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're usually 9 o'clock at least, 9.
And by that time, we're all sitting here.
Yeah. It's usually the guy sitting over asking too many questions.
I think questions are good. I think we need to protect, you know, the new people who are coming to town, us existing people in town.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
the right things.
Yeah, and it's, I shouldn't say this about builders or whatever, but many, many times, they will get away with anything they think they can.
Because they want to make money.
Well, yeah, and it's their right to make money. That's what they're in business for.
And we require a lot of paperwork from them, so they want
Yeah,
to avoid that too.
And this guy's our eyes and ears in the field, Carl.
Okay.
yeah.
Along
So
with,
is he ours or is he
Yeah.
private?
he's
Well, he's
private, but we
private.
hire
Private,
him.
but we hire.
Okay.
Quinn Engineering out in Paxton,
Yeah, he's from Quinn.
and he is one sharp cookie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're very, very lucky to have him.
Yes. Outstanding engineer, detail oriented. No, I can't say I've never seen anything since I've been working get by him.
I think it's very important that you're asking for these plans, because when Joe has to repair something in the next, 15 years than his predecessor, I mean, they need to know how to fix it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my fear. I've already been through this with my company of trying to find. I've only been with them 2 years, and I'm looking for stuff from 4 years ago, and there's no plans. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I guess I get to make these up.
Right. And I think that's gonna save us taxpayers money in the long run if we have the plans for it, so we're not gonna have to go, it's already gonna cost us money to fix it, so let's just have the plans in front of us.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of redoing, having an
Correct.
engineer have to redo them. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Which,
isn't cheap.
my guess is we have a pretty fair amount of very old infrastructure in this town for which there are no plans.
Correct.
Oh, the sewer system.
Yeah,
I talked to Joe, and some of that dates back to the 20s and 30s, if not earlier.
yeah, yeah.
So,
And,
well, just like that, there was a meter over here that was our water meter that tells, or sewer meter, one of the two, and they had to find some guy in retirement that knew how to work on it because it hasn't been used, hasn't been sold, hasn't been in decades. So the company that represented the meter actually found an old service engineer that could come out and support it, and that's where we found out that the meter was off, had to be recalibrated. So, and that was all Joe. Again, Joe Buckley has done a phenomenal job as our DPW director, getting that squared away.
Well,
He spent a lot of money with DPF, Wetland and Sampson there.
Yeah, Weston and Sampson.
Well, I
Yeah.
would like to give my speech here
Yes.
because I think my husband's going to fall asleep any minute.
okay, go.
All right. Can we do number 8 and then I'll hang up?
Let's get Marilyn first.
Okay, the planning board had a good meeting last Tuesday. We actually really have the foundation for the first group of what's the word I want? Group of, I'm totally blank. The criteria for the first phase of the document that we're working on, which is the right by,
By right home occupation.
say that
The
again?
by right home occupation.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
by right home occupations, and we'll be soon starting on the next major home occupations. We still need new members. We had, Bonnie is able to attend, but we have other openings for members on the board.
That's it? Okay.
Got it?
On Tuesday, 30th.
Pardon me? Oh, yeah. The
Anytime.
next meeting has been changed from Wednesday. Tim, are you aware of that? It's going to be on Tuesday.
No, I wasn't.
Because of conflicts with scheduling.
Okay, Tuesday at 6:30,
Yeah.
and that's over in the
Annex.
annex
Annex,
building,
yeah.
thanks, yeah. Yeah, I keep wanting to get there, and I keep getting call-outs for emergencies, so My life is not,
Not your own.
no, but I'm not getting on a plane to fly anywhere, so I'm not
That's-
complaining.
Okay, number 8, 24 Arline Drive Special Permit Accessory Apartment Review Decision.
Here's the file copy.
And, I don't know, did everybody get it by email? Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
It's in our packets too.
And also in the packet, paper copy.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I looked it over and I don't know, all, you know, it's just one of these things where,
It follows the bylaw, and that's,
25 years ago,
we just said just go build it?
which I think I've been on the planning board for at least 25 years, I'm not sure, but it's something like that.
Yes, you have.
The decision would have been a 2-page document, that's it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and this is so complete and detailed on every aspect of everything that is going to be done, that can be done, that should not be done. So, unless anybody has read it and finds,
I didn't find anything.
yes, because I emailed you about it.
I was back at the office.
Is that a
For a few
date?
minutes to get the Buckley letter, and
Yeah.
I didn't notice anything.
No, it was a couple days ago, when you sent this out.
Oh, okay. What-
Look at the front page. The very front page.
Our 24 Arline Drive, August 9th.
Above that,
Special permit, oh, estate lot, oh, man.
it says special permit estate lot.
It should say
Which is a
accessory,
good catch, thank you.
accessory.
I almost missed it this time,
Thank you for catching it. That would have been,
which does not affect us, our ability
No.
to sign it,
Right?
because all you have to do is change that cover page. Do I have a motion to sign the decision?
I'll make a motion to sign the decision on the accessory building, and I don't remember the address.
24 Arline Drive.
24.
Do I have a second?
Second,
I was hoping he'd do that.
Yes.
yeah, second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, Dick?
Aye.
Marilyn?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Norm, aye. We can sign it, and, this was, by the way, this is the first accessory dwelling apartment
In Rutland.
special permit we have given since we passed the new bylaw at the last town meeting. And, at least thankfully, it was probably about the nicest way that, at least to me,
Oh, the presentation was
that there
phenomenal.
could be an application, because it's for an accessory apartment in a house that hasn't even been built yet.
Oh.
So they're building the house and the accessory apartment.
So they had the full plans, the layout, the kitchens, the bathrooms, everything was in,
Yeah.
showing, so we could see everything, the stairs coming up, the second egress through the house, everything was there, so it was a great presentation.
Even you were happy.
I was happy, yeah.
Yeah.
That's tough to do.
Who was the builder on that, or the?
They're out of,
Way out of town.
it's next, well, not Oxford, I'm having a brain death.
it's in the application.
Yeah, it's the Marcio Brothers,
Amadeo.
not
In
familiar with
Medeo.
Amadeo.
yeah, they're the next town.
Chemical, God.
Dick, what, I'm having, it's off of 122A, what the heck is? Ocam. Ocam is, where they're out of.
Yeah, they're from Oakham.
They do a great job, I understand, too. Good builder.
Yes, they do.
So, and this planning would
They
be
have
brought to you
beautiful
by
buildings.
Amadeo Brothers.
Yeah, it's, yeah. Don't mind the sticker on the side of my car that I have, it's just a magnetic one, it says Amadeo, but no, I'm kidding. I'll get in trouble in 5 minutes. So, Norm, I just had one thing that wasn't on the list that got brought to my attention within the 48 hours. It's just a question I want to put out there. I don't want to spend any time discussing it, but I thought I should bring it up to the board. Oh, what's today? I don't, you gotta do 8/23, not 5/23.
Oh, Jesus.
I'll do that. Looks like
Make it
8. Can I do that now? I'll sign it?
Just a real quickie, it's kind of weird because the in-laws that are gonna be living in that apartment is the lady that runs Rose's.
You mean cuts my hair?
Beauty salon, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think I was in conflict because she cut my hair
Yeah.
when I did this, because it's not her, she's
That's
gonna be
right.
moving in, but,
Yeah.
Before you get John, can I just ask Dick? Dick, would you like me to stop by to have you sign this? Because we need 4 signatures, because it's a supermajority vote, and as we know, we only have actively 4 members at this point in time. So, should I come up, or how do you want to?
Okay. I'll see what we can do.
Dick, how are you feeling? I'm gonna ask that question right now, because you don't sound good, buddy.
My whole right side is killing me right at the moment. My leg, it's terrible, and I just want to call it quits for Christ's sake. I want to get done.
All
I'm
right,
sorry.
Well, you'll feel better.
We can
Yeah.
touch base over the next couple of days, I guess.
Okay.
yeah. Only thing I wanted to mention is in October, there's advertisement for Schultz's Farm for an Oktoberfest through the 4th of July Tricentennial Committee. And if my understanding is correct, that property is not going through the agricultural bylaw process. So I just want to bring that up to the board. We don't got to do anything with tonight, but we should think about what we should be doing, because it's not approved for an event process or anything through our bylaw. So that's it, that's all I want to say.
Good to adjourn.
All right, I think we should, motion to adjourn.
Second.
Is there any discussion? In favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Dick, I hope you feel better, buddy.